Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for February 15th. February 15th is the 46th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, with 319 days remaining to the end of the year, 320 in leap years. Today's word is grok. Grok is a verb that means to understand profoundly and intuitively. I like that. As I read this definition, I think of a line in David Lynch's 1984 film Dune, which is based on Frank Herbert's 1965 novel Dune. It's been a while since I've seen it, but they've given Paul a particular garment called a still suit. He puts it on and does all the fittings and adjustments correctly as if he's worn a still suit every day of his life, even though he's new to the planet as a young adult. No big deal. Gurney Halleck marvels at this as he remembers a prophecy. "He shall know your ways as if born to them." That's what grok is, understanding profoundly and intuitively. Another example, every once in a while an item will make the news about a child, sometimes still toddlers, who just amazingly have some affinity for something like playing a musical instrument or singing or painting, for example, with uncanny skill. They may be called prodigies or child geniuses. However it happens, or for whatever reason, that child simply groks singing or painting or playing the instrument. So, if you come upon something that's easy for you to comprehend, feels like, oh yeah, it's easy as been doing it all your life, as natural as a barefoot dog, you grok it. This word grok was introduced in Robert Heinlein's 1961 science fiction novel, Stranger in a Strange Land, which is about a human who was born on Mars, raised by Martians, and then comes to Earth as a young adult. Intriguing concept, isn't it? First known use of the word grok is in 1961. Grok. And with that, 26th President of the United States, Theodore Roosevelt's name lends itself to the nickname of Teddy, Theodore Teddy. He didn't personally like to be called Teddy. In fact, he hated it. He was a go-get-'em guy, a man's man. In the late 1890s, he formed and led the first United States volunteer cavalry that came to be called the Rough Riders. He loved to hunt, too. For all that tough manliness, Theodore Roosevelt is also remembered for his philosophy of speak softly and carry a big stick, which is about negotiating peacefully, but also having strength in case things go wrong. Somewhere along the way, an incident occurred involving a bear, and a political cartoon depicting a cute little bear cub inspired businessman and creative Morris Mitchton to create a plush doll in the form of a bear. He sent one to President Roosevelt, and on February 15th, 1903, Mr. Mitchton placed two such bears in the window of his candy store with a sign that said, "Teddy's Bears." They were immediately popular and have been part of American childhood ever since. Teddy bears. We talked earlier in this episode about the word grok, introduced by science fiction writer Robert Heinlein and his book Stranger in a Strange Land, and that also reminded me of Leon Russell's song Stranger in a Strange Land. Written by Leon Russell and Don Preston, this Stranger in a Strange Land was released in 1971 on the album Leon Russell and the Shelter People. Some great lines in that song, though. Stranger in a Strange Land by Leon Russell. Link in the description. And I think that's going to do it for us today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this video with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoy this series, you can check out the playlist that contains these videos. I'll put a link to that in the description. That playlist lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include a link to my blog page. It's called No Really. You can also find me on Rumble, BitChute, and Odyssey. all those links in that description. Alrighty, that's all I can think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.